welcome back. This is Kristie with AG Takes Over. Got a dog barking in the background, so good morning. Everybody's getting up and running this morning. Um, I am so excited about this topic. And this video is just a progress report. It's kind of letting you know what's going on. So it's not the big reveal. Still work to be done, but I wanted to share because I know several of you have watched a lot of my videos and you do know what my setup is with doll spaces. If you haven't and you're watching this for the first time, I'll give you a very quick recap and explain why we're making a change. So in the past, I've done a tour video and shown you that in the basement, which is a completely unfinished basement, there's like a rug, like some carpet thrown down where a neighbor redid their carpet and they gave away the extra, and we just like, it's not tacked down or anything, it's just a pad and carpet. So there's that. But other than that, it's pretty cave-like. It's an unfinished, a new basement, but an unfinished one. So down there, the only thing really like nice doll related for pictures and enjoyment is one dollhouse, which is, I'll just put a picture in here, that I got super cheap in our neighborhood because somebody was selling it. And then upstairs on the first floor, we have a dollhouse for my daughter, and I'll put a picture in here also, but she's the toddler, and this is her space to do as she wants with no supervision. She doesn't even know the one in the basement exists, and I'm not about to tell her. So she has hers on the main floor. And then on the second floor is this room, which is my office. All my office equipment's right there. And the dollhouse is this long thing here. It's one story, and the rooftop or whatever, we switch out big ticket items. So the approach has been, because we have a basement, we have the storage for big ticket items. So if we see one that's a really good price or we really want it, like I got Tenny's stage for 20 bucks, then we get it. And the approach has been, well, then I would just once a month rotate and bring up one or two big ticket items and put them on top here so that we can enjoy them, because my daughter does come in this space with supervision. And then whatever was up here before goes down into the basement, which was a very workable solution until we started getting more big ticket items, because at some point you realize if you've got over like 12 or 13 big ticket items, that means you might only get the thing up here 1 month out of the year, which is not horrible. It's nice to switch the things out and keep it kind of fresh up here. But I was just feeling like that's a whole lot of stuff downstairs that we're not really enjoying, because it's literally just on these two tables, smushed up against each other, or under the tables. Everything's just like not displayed in any kind of appealing way, because what's the point? It's like the walls are yuck. You can see the insulation. Nothing's finished. Didn't seem like there's any point in like trying to make those things in pretty displays. So that's where we were. Grateful for a basement. Do not get me wrong. Super grateful to have a basement. And it allowed us to get big ticket items that we wanted without worrying about it too much. Just the only downside was I felt like we weren't getting to enjoy them as much as I would like, or as often as I would like. I don't know if this is the logical solution, but a potential solution was to finish the basement properly, like finish the whole basement. The two approaches to that are hella expensive to have somebody else do it. If you've done this, you know. If you have not, if you're like a teenager who, or somebody who is working on their first apartment or living at home and do not know, I mean, easily $25,000. I don't know, but it's like it starts at expensive and goes up to astronomical to finish a basement. To do it ourselves, my neighbor did that and did a fantastic job on his basement. I'm so in awe. And he says, you can do it. If I could do it, you can do it. You can watch the same videos I did, but I just can't get the motivation to do it. It feels really overwhelming. Um, so we've gone back and forth, like finish the basement or not. And then there is an added problem, which is probably TMI, but if you have pets, you get this. We have a dog and 2 cats. I always say a dog that I love and 2 cats that came with the relationship because I'm allergic and I'm not the biggest cat person. Anyway, one of the cats has we're not really sure why medically this happens. She has meds and it helps, but she poops in a spot down in the basement where the litter boxes are, not in the litter box. And so she has picked one section of this rug, this carpet, and poops down there. And it makes me very resentful. It also is gross. But my wife, cleans it up regularly. But it's very frustrating. And my feeling has been, if this is a problem, we definitely are not considering fully moving forward and investing a crap ton of money in finishing a basement, where instead of like her crapping on a free piece of carpet that we got, she would be ruining things that we spent a lot of money on. I don't want that. Like, I already feel some resentment towards the cat. I don't want to feel that much resentment towards the cat. So, for lots of reasons, finishing the basement myself is not going to happen. And paying somebody to professionally finish the basement financially and because of the cat is not going to happen. So where does that leave us? Well, around tax return time, I told my wife, I think I'm going to treat myself to some of the PAX shelves. I know it won't be a finished basement, but at least because they have, floor, ceiling, background, and the 2 side walls, we could put some of the big ticket items in there or create more rooms in there and be able to photograph them, even if the rest of the thing looks a mess. I think I'm going to do that. It's not a perfect solution, but if there's a possibility that we might finish the basement in the future, I don't want to spend a lot of money doing a temporary solution. And I don't want to spend money doing a solution that, like, if we finish it later, we no longer need this thing and we're out a bunch of money. So I was like, PAX shelves. Everybody loves them. They're kind of pricey, but I'm going to do that. And Mel, I don't know if you're watching, but shout out to my doll collector friend Mel, who was at our house to pick up something that she'd purchased. We did like a Facebook buy, sell, trade group sale, and she bought some things and said, I'll just come over and pick them up. So she came over to pick them up, and I happened to mention, like, yeah, I'm going to get some PAX shelves. And she was like, oh, well, I'm trying to get rid of mine. I'm about to try to get rid of mine. And I was like, what? She said, yeah, my dad and I are going to custom build our dollhouse, the dollhouse down in the basement. And I was like, okay, well, what do they look like? And she was like, well, I have one of the really tall ones and one of the long ones. So one's a little bit wider, whatever. She explained it. I'm like, okay, what would you want for them? Because I think they're like 160, 140, depending on which ones you get, 140 to 160 for the shell. And then for each shelf, you buy those separately. So, like, let's split the difference and say 150, 150, that's 300 plus the shelves. I don't know how much they are, but it's not chump change. And she goes, 100 for all of it? Friend, sold. Yes, sold. So I was like, yeah, just let me know when you want. I mean, if you want to deliver them or I come pick them up or break them down, or just let me know. Let me know. There's not a huge rush, but I am kind of excited about this. So fast forward to, she brought them over completely put together, so I didn't even have to put them together. Yay for people having a truck. And then the task became, how much can I finish the basement without finishing the basement with, spending all the money? Our basement is like this. It's basically, the usable space is an L. So you come down the stairs and there's a smaller space off here, and then there's a longer space here. And this space is where Grace sews. and I mean, there's storage everywhere because it's not a finished basement. So storage everywhere. So come down the stairs to the left. So to the right is where the dollhouse is, and then a bunch of doll related stuff, plus other stuff. And then back here, more storage and stuff. And then under the stairs is where the cat boxes are. So the rug that's right in this area is where the cat has pooped. And I was just like, I know that it will drive me nuts if I come down there and try to enjoy these dolls and enjoy these little scenes that I'm going to create, and I can see cat poop. Like, yes, my wife stays on it, but you can't be down there 24/7. So what if they just pooped? And, and she's like, I just cleaned it up 15 minutes ago. I don't want to do it again. So also just visually, like, I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to see that clutter of that space either. So talked to my friend Adam what he did in one of his spaces in their basement, because he also took a very like half-assed finish the basement approach. So I got hooks and screwed them into the joists. Anyway, the overhead 2x4s, and bought a long metal tube, like electric conduit tube. Got the kind of like shower rings or curtain rings that are rings with little alligator clips, and bought drop cloths. And I just made a curtain that walled off that whole space, which was really smart because it was cheap. I mean, relatively speaking, like $50 versus framing and drywalling and all of the stuff that it would be to make a proper wall. So it was like $50-ish. And now there's like this nice solid neutral space that visually blocks it off, kind of like a wall. And I can see that space when I'm down there, which is really, really helpful. I'm doing some other things that may or may not be interesting to you. And the reason that I'm sharing them is, one, you can fast forward if you're not interested in this part. Two, it's mostly sweat equity. There's a lot of little things that I'm doing in this space that don't cost a lot, but are making a difference. And I know a lot of us are in that situation where we can't just like, oh, I'm just going to dedicate this entire room to dolls, or I'm going to just pay $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 to have a basement refinished so I can have a doll room. I think that that's great, but we're not all in that situation. So hopefully sharing some like penny pinching, easy to do ideas might inspire somebody else to like revamp a space that they have in their home. That's why I'm sharing the nitty-gritty details. You can probably fast forward a couple minutes if you're not concerned about this part, because I'm going to talk about what doll things are going in the space. But first, I want to talk about like just the shell of the basement and what I'm doing to it. So it already had drywall on the top. We had taken down a whole row of panels because an electrician came in and put in more lighting. So the panels never got put back up, and they'd been just sitting on the side for over a year. So my friend Adam came over and we put up the panels. That helped. Then I put the curtain thing up. That was the next step. And then only for this corner that I'm going to be using, this, 1/4 or whatever of the basement, did I do this. But the like stamped poured brick, it's concrete that like has a brick facade, of that basement, it's just like a dark gray. We had white builder's quality paint, like the 5-gallon bucket left over from when they built the house, and I painted that section. And I'll put pictures in here just to show the gray versus the white, and you can see how much it brightened it up. So that was a huge game changer. There's a beam above, like the space that's going to be used for dolls has like a little bump out, and there's a metal beam, like a supporting beam overhead, and it's just like a dark gray with wood over top, and it's a little gloomy looking, and it took 3 coats to cover it because it's cheap builder's quality paint. But I painted that. I'm just going to insert some pictures to show you like what it looks like when it's not painted and what it looks like now, because it is really helpful to brighten things up, and paint is cheap, relatively speaking. Um, the next thing that I need to do is there's a whole bunch of insulation around the top. It's like a salmon colored, orangey colored insulation. And my friend Adam covered his with shiplap. But I have a family member who has access to more drop cloths, and she is moving to closer to us pretty soon and is going to bring a whole bunch of drop cloths with us. So my plan is to cut and sew little curtains, basically, like, I don't know, 3 feet or whatever, however much of that is insulated, and just tack them above. Like, there's a little piece of wood above the insulation, just tack them and cover that. I am looking for something that makes it less of an eyesore but does not break the bank, because this may be a solution that only lasts for a couple of years. I want to enjoy the dolls. I want to enjoy that space and really get more out of it than we're currently getting out of it without sinking a bunch of money in. That's my goal. So drop cloths are going to cover all of that insulation. And then there's like a fuse box and an internet box. I don't know. It's massive. It's not like a modem or anything, but there's some electrical stuff. And I know that you can make like a frame around that and a door, and that'd be nice because we could put a little American Girl poster on it or something. I will probably need help with that. So if I have a friend who's willing to help me, then that I will do a proper thing. If I don't, I will cut some more drop cloth and just drape it over, because I'm not going to be deterred. So, so that's the aesthetic stuff that's happening in the shell of the room to make it more usable. Then, this is the more doll related part. What are we going to have down there? What's currently down there already are 2 train tables. And I mention this because train tables are a dime a dozen. If you get on Facebook Marketplace, even if you live in a small town, you can probably find a train table for like 15 if you're lucky, 20 easily, definitely $25. Little, kids play with the little train sets. The tables that they go on, they're like a lower height. They're not table height. They're a little lower. They're bigger. So those are really good for large sets. We have Blair's Restaurant and Grace's Bakery, which are lovely sets that need a little more space than like a PAX shelf gives them. In my opinion. They're best if they just really get the wide open space. So we already had 2 train tables down there that I spent like $15 or $20 each on. We had 2 large tables that we brought from a previous home. They were just slabs of wood that were left from previous residents, and then I bought IKEA table legs. So now I turned them into 2 large tables. So wasn't 100% sure what we were going to put on there. Up to this point, that was where everything was just like crammed, and now I want it to look more display-like. So we'll have to figure that out. Then there's a little coffee table that's down there that can hold something like maybe the bowling alley. I'm not sure, but my daughter may or may not take that when she moves into her new apartment, so I'm not going to get too attached to that option. And then we have the dollhouse that I mentioned already. And then we're adding the 2 PAX shelves. One's going to be vertical and one's going to be horizontal. So, quick glance without all the stuff in here. I drew the setup. And coffee table, PAX shelf, existing dollhouse, PAX shelf, short train tables, bigger tables. So then here's what we have. Initially, I didn't have it in any configuration because it was so cluttered down there. I couldn't figure out what I was going to do with it. But we have the idea of what space we're going to have, how many rooms we're going to be able to accommodate. Then I made a list of everything that we own doll related. So I'm like, all right, well, Blair's Restaurant, Grace's Bakery, the bowling alley. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. I'll go ahead and read some of this list. So we have a custom Starbucks that I made. We have the Mars habitat, which we got like, I mean, most of these things were purchased. I'll tell you when they were purchased new. So if I don't, then know that it was a good deal. Mars habitat we're saving for when my younger one is older. Leah's hut I bought for like 15 or 20 bucks. It didn't come with anything in it. I just kind of outfitted it on my own. Kira's hut, which I did buy new, and it's still in the box, and we're kind of holding it back. Tenny stage, they got it for 20 bucks. The bowling alley we bought used. The plane was a gift for my wife from her dad for Christmas. And then if you watch the unboxing from the benefit sale video, we got stuff to do a salon. So that's like kind of a room that we want. We want Courtney to have a room. We've got Mary Ellen's diner. We have some space that we're trying to make into Rebecca's rooms over time. We have the little AG Place Bistro Cafe. Plus we have the Grand Hotel, and their color scheme matches, so we kind of want to make those like a joint space. We have the AG Cafe, the like brightly colored one, not the bistro, and the World by Us stuff. And we want the Hoffman twins to have a room, and I want the Caring for Babies to have a nursery, and the doll room down there already has a kitchen, and it already has a bathroom, and it already has a rec room. Holy crap. It's a lot, right? I'm so excited that this is actually going to happen, though. Like, as I film this, it's mostly happened. Like, it's 75% done. I have been busting my butt. Finding contact paper, little flooring choices, sticking all the contact paper on the walls. And some rooms look very finished, and some rooms that are like just an open space. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Kind of the big hang up to me being able to show it to you right now is waiting on my sister-in-law to get here with the drop claws so I can start making curtains. So yeah, I'm going to show you now what I decided is going to have kind of a permanent display space, and what might still need to be rotated out. Okay, so rec room, which has Z Yang's desk and some World by Us stuff. We don't know. This was a modern bedroom, but we're not going to have it be that anymore. And at this point, I have no idea what this room is going to be. Bathroom, kitchen. This was Courtney's room, but it became the Caring for Baby nursery. And then up here, the pet boutique, the Hoffman twins room, and some of the World by Us stuff, and the American Girl Cafe, because they're kind of all brightly colored and go together, are all down here. Blair's Restaurant, Grace's Bakery. This space is going to be the hotel and the pink, the cafe, the little corner booth thing. This has a box on it that is 2 rooms that will be Rebecca's rooms. And there's enough space on the top that we're going to do Mary Ellen's diner. Then over here is a little coffee table. Currently, I've got the plane on it, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying not to get too attached to this one because it might go when my daughter moves. Courtney's room. This is just going to be an open room that can be like neutral walls, change it up. So it might be a yoga studio. It might be a classroom. It might be, I don't even know. It might be an American Girl store. I know we're going to like just keep this as a big open space that's a flex room, which I'm excited about. It's weird because everything else is going to look finished and then this might not, but I think it's a good idea. And then this is the salon. And then this space on top has fake grass. And in the warmer months, we have things like the Our Generation ice cream truck, the pool that I retrofitted so it's actually deep. There's a video that I can link in the description if you want to watch that tutorial. the Jenny's ice cream table. So that'll be like warmer month things. And then colder month things, I have a Christmas tree farm that I custom made. We have like the little hot cocoa stand from our generation, Corinne's bedroom, the little ski chalet, I don't know, the ski, whatever they call that from Corinne's set. So we have plenty of things to put in here like for fall and winter. So that's all, right? Just a little undertaking. It looks so good. Once I decided, like, we have the PAX things, I'm gonna paint, I'm gonna do a drop cloth. Once I kind of committed, like, do this in between thing. You don't have to have it be a spot that you kind of resent and you're not capitalizing on, or that you go broke trying to make look really great. You can do the middle thing. And once I committed to doing the middle thing, it's going quickly. I'm so motivated. I like every evening when I get my little one to sleep, I want to go down and do something. And I'm like, come on, when's the next roll of contact paper going to get here so I can do these things? And it's frustrating and I'm making mistakes and it's fine. It's so rewarding. I'm so excited. I enjoy going down in that space. We have a TV down there. So my wife has a really quiet sewing machine. So I can see us like going down and putting on a movie and her sewing and me doing, photography and little setups and everything with the doll space and just enjoying it. And I'll give you the breakdown once I do the math, but we're not putting a lot into it. I'll probably just put a breakdown, here if I can do the math post on the editing floor, whatever. Yeah, I hope that you're excited. I know it's not your dollhouse, so yeah, but that's the whole point of AGTube, right? Is that we get to delight in our shared collections and our shared passion. So hopefully you're excited. The drop claws will be coming in probably a couple weeks. So I don't know. Sometime in August, I would look for a big reveal video and I will do a tour of all the doll spaces again, just so that that's all housed in one video. All right. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. I would love that. And you can click on that notification bell so that you know when I do post that update video. And in the meantime, keep on watching. I make a lot of videos, so I'm going to put a playlist of dollhouse tours over here on the left, and I will let YouTube pick out what they think is the best video for you, best video for viewer on the right. So click away, keep enjoying some videos, and I will see you for my next one soon enough. Bye.